In our last session, we read a letter from a man who complained that his wife demanded that he report to her everywhere he went and everything he did and said. And he hated being controlled like that. I explained that she was just empty and afraid and needed to control him to alleviate her fears. I also suggested that he might consider changing his attitude toward her, and instead of responding to her by defending himself, which always made things way worse, he might start voluntarily sharing himself with her as a loving gift. Now, back to the writer of the letter. More than anything else, she needs your love, and your marriage needs real love. So make a choice to give it to her. It's easy to talk about loving, but what exactly does that look like? When she starts demanding to know where you've been, don't defend yourself from what I'm sure is an attacking, whining tone of voice. I'm sure there have been many times that you've wanted to just put a sock in her mouth and tape it shut, but now you understand that she's just protecting herself. So instead, you'll just lovingly share with her what you've been doing. Share it freely because you want to, because she's your partner, because she's your favorite person in the world. Those are great motivations, and she'll feel them. But you're going to be even much smarter than this. You're not going to wait until she asks you where you've been. Now, that's dumb. When you really care about her, you'll understand her need to know what you're doing. You'll understand her need to share in your life, and you'll tell her where you're going before you go. And if you're gone long, you'll call her and tell her how things are going. Not to report, but because you care about her. Because you understand that she's a bit of a control freak and she needs to know stuff more than most people. So what? We all have our little quirks. She has hers. You have yours. I have mine. I like butter pecan ice cream while other people like vanilla. Your wife has a need to be controlling. Understanding that, you'll be loving and cater to that need to a certain point. That does not mean that you have to do everything she wants. But telling her what you're doing is really a pretty small thing. It doesn't limit what you do. It doesn't keep you from doing what you want. So do it to diminish her fears. When you know you'll be late, getting home from work, for example, call her and tell her. Do all this because you want her to know that you care about her unconditionally. Now, this next part is very cool. If you do all this consistently, without resentment, she'll eventually learn that you do love her. And it's very likely that her demands to know what you're doing will eventually decrease and possibly even disappear. She's only demanding because she's seeking proof of your love for her. People are demanding only when they don't feel loved. Now, in the short term, I also understand that there will be times when you just won't have it in you to be loving when she comes at you in a demanding way. So what? You're learning. And when we're learning, we make mistakes. Big deal. On the occasions when she's demanding and you feel irritated, when you don't feel loving, do not continue talking to her. In our next session, I'll talk about how you can stop those potentially disastrous discussions.